Hey guys, good morning. Good morning, good morning. I had my mic perfect yesterday. I don't know what happened. It is now blue again. It was green yesterday. I hope you guys can hear me. I looked back at one of the videos from yesterday, the one with Spike. You could hear him squeaking. The sound was great. I hope it's still great. I don't know. I hate this mic. Okay, we are on part 10 of Betty Broderick, crazy woman that unalived her husband. I don't remember the year. I don't know why I can't, on this trial, I don't know why I can't keep the year straight. I'm stuffy again this morning. It's the change of seasons. Every year when the seasons change, I get, ugh. Good morning, Judy. Jennifer, hey girl. Jill! Oh my gosh, Jill's awake today. Oh, okay. All right. I believe it. Oh, you got trivia for us, Judy? Yep. Betty was pregnant 9 times. Good Lord. Did they not know how to use birth control? Wait, were they Catholic? Maybe that's why. Catholics are the ones that don't believe in birth control, right? No shade, I'm just saying. They're right? Isn't that what it is? Catholics don't use birth control? 9 times. 4 were miscarried or terminated. Ugh. I don't like that. I don't like it. I'm pro-life. I don't like that. Betty and Dan actually had 5 children. The 5th child passed away 4 days after being born in 1973. The baby was unnamed and no explanation as to the details of his death were available. Who doesn't name their kid? Like, who has a child that's 4 days old and still doesn't have a name? Don't most parents? Hey Carla. Don't most parents have a name when they go to the hospital? I don't know. I don't have kids, so my kid would have had a name before I got to the hospital to have it. I don't know. Is that just me? I thought that was a thing to already have your kid named. I mean, well, with these people, who knows? Oh, okay. So her MO was to just abort the ones that she didn't want to have. So no birth control, but I will just kill the ones that I don't want. Okay. Let's not prevent them. Let's just kill them when I don't want them. Okay. No offense to anybody that doesn't have the same views as me, but I am pro-life. Wow. Okay.
As an attorney, it was a material.
By the way, if you weren't here yesterday, this is the housekeeper that Dan hired after the kids went to live with him.
Loss. Always. You indicated that she used some language when she would talk about Dan and Linda. Would she? Did you ever? Yes, I did. Did you ever talk to her about not doing that?
Yes, I did.
And what was her response?
She basically never responded a lot to the things I, said or requested, but I knew that her language was a big barrier between her and Dan.
Speculation.
Sustained.
Did you make requests? Did you ask if she would stop using that kind of language around the kids?
Yes, so they could continue to see her.
And did she ever do that? Did she stop using that kind of language?
No.
Were any of those conversations upsetting to the boys?
Yes, they were.
Okay, guys, I cleaned my cache and my cookies and all that good stuff yesterday.
Hang up right then.
Why would you do that?
If I heard Rhett or Danny saying to the... If I heard Rhett and Danny, if they sounded like they were getting upset, or they asked their mother not to use that kind of language or talk that way, I would ask them, what is she saying? They would tell me, and that would be the end.
Do you recall ever overhearing a specific conversation between Rhett and his mother in relation to Thanksgiving?
Yes.
Can you describe what Elisabeth Broderick was saying to Rhett about Thanksgiving?
Rhett was on one phone in the house. I was on another. I picked up the phone to make a call. I didn't realize he was speaking to her. They were talking about Thanksgiving, and the boys, or all the children maybe, were going to be spending Thanksgiving with Mr. Broderick that year. And Mrs. Broderick was instructing Rhett to spit out the food and to gag on it and choke. Yes.
And was that in relation to Linda at all, that Linda was cooking?
Linda was cooking dinner at the house that year.
And what was Rhett's response to that?
I was afraid, obviously, that he would get in trouble. But as the conversation continued on a bit, he sort of halfway agreed that he would do it.
Did you ever hear the boys call Linda?
I first came to work there.
Did you say anything about that to them?
No, objections are relevant.
Sustained.
Did they ever say to you why they were doing that?
No objection, hearsay.
Sustained.
Did you ever overhear them making the statement about why they felt they could call Linda those names?
Objection, hearsay comment.
Sustained.
Did you ever hear the defendant encouraging the boys to run away?
One time, I know they ran away. I didn't hear her encourage them to do that. I was told she encouraged them
I'm so sorry, guys. I didn't have my laptop pulled up yet. And it's weird. The delay is really weird because when everything's going smoothly, the laptop is behind what I'm seeing on StreamYard. But when it crashes, that it happens or any glitches or anything, it happens on the laptop first and then it happens on StreamYard. So I got my laptop pulled up and I see nothing but the background. And I see Jill saying no audio because it had not shown up on StreamYard yet. And I see no audio. And then I hear Court TV now, and I'm like, wait a minute, what is happening? There's no picture. They can't hear anything. What is going on? And then right after that, it crashed. It's like, wait a minute. I just entered the Twilight Zone. What is going on? So now I've got Court TV on this monitor. I've got StreamYard on this monitor. I've got my laptop. Man, what? It's not a Monday. What is happening? So hopefully I'm caught up with everything now. And knock on wood, I'm not superstitious, but right now, I don't care. Everything is going to work right now. Okay.
Was brought back and Danny was missing.
At this time, was Rhett crying?
Yes.
And did you hear anything that his mother was saying to him as she dropped him off?
She was yelling at him from the car window. He said, I honestly don't remember exactly what she said. I caught the word bastard, and I believed that she was referring to Dan, but she wasn't. She was referring to Rhett.
Your Honor, objection. Motion is tried.
False speculation.
What makes you believe?
Sustained answer stricken.
What makes you believe she was referring to Rhett?
Rhett told me she was referring to
Your
him.
Honor, objection. You're set.
Sustained.
May we be heard at sidebar about this?
No, you're winning the objection. Nothing to be heard on.
Your Honor, the
Disagree with that, Your Honor.
Just go ahead, ask another question.
I think that's relevant to her state of mind. She'd evolved to a point that she was calling her child a bastard. Yeah, I think that's relevant. It goes to her state of mind. She lost it. The woman totally lost it.
In Dan and Linda's lives and what they were doing.
Sometimes.
What sorts of things did she want to know?
She wanted to know where they were going, what they were doing, you know, if they were restaurants they would be going to, things like that.
And would she ask you these questions?
Sometimes.
Okay. Did you feel comfortable giving that? Was there a period of time you recall where she seemed to get even more inquisitive about what was going on with them?
After they got married, She seemed to be a little more inquisitive when I was there.
About that they were doing?
Just events that were going on in their life, what they did, where they went, you know, things like that.
Other people, or were they unique?
They were unique.
Okay. Have you ever had an experience with someone else like this?
Your Honor, objection, irrelevant.
Overruled, you can answer that, just yes or no.
No.
Were you aware of any instances when the defendant came into Dan and Linda's home when she wasn't supposed to be there?
Yes.
Can you describe any of those?
One event in particular was Dan and Linda had left to go on their honeymoon, and I don't remember at this time why she was coming by, but she did come by. I was upstairs. Linda's wedding dress was in the living room, and there was an envelope on top of it. It was addressed to a friend of Linda's. And after Mrs. Broderick left, I realized that the envelope had been ripped open, the contents had been dumped out, and the letter had been read.
And this was on top of Linda's wedding dress?
Yeah, I believe so.
Did you ever do anything or say anything to her about that?
That time I called her. I wanted to talk to her about coming in the house when she wasn't supposed to, and she wasn't home. And I left her a message on her answering machine in regard to entering the house when she...
Was there a time before the wedding where you were aware of what... Okay. Can you describe... Was this a house that Dan and Linda put together?
Yes.
Do you know where it was in the house?
Yes, I do. It was on the desk of Dan's office.
It's yourself.
Yes, I did.
And was there... was that the day that the wedding list disappeared? Over at the house that day?
She came to pick up her sons.
And did she leave the house?
Yes.
Okay. And the last time you saw the wedding list, it was on the desk in Dan's office?
Yes, it was.
Were there times that you were aware of when the defendant would not follow through with her plans with the boys?
Yes.
Can you describe that?
Sometimes when she was supposed to have them for the weekend, she wouldn't come pick them up at the last minute. That was the main thing that occurred.
Did you ever hear her explaining to the boys why she couldn't have them, whose fault it was?
She said she didn't have money to buy groceries to feed them.
Okay. And did she describe whose fault it was that she didn't have money?
She blamed it on Dan.
By the way, you were when the kids would come home from school, you were there working, is that correct?
Yes.
And then you would stay until
After dinner.
Okay.
7:30 or 8 o'clock.
Would you be there during the dinner hour?
Yes.
Okay. Would you eat dinner with the family as well, or they would sit and eat dinner?
No, I didn't eat dinner with the family. I was invited to, but I didn't want to. Usually, they were in the dining room, and I was in.
Did they generally eat as a family? Would Mr. Broderick come home?
Almost every night.
Okay. And Mr. Broderick, did you ever see Mr. Broderick be physically abusive to any of his kids?
Never.
Did any of his children ever appear to be afraid of Mr. Broderick from what you observed?
No, not at all.
Okay.
Sorry, guys. I guess I'm gonna turn the camera off.
Or Mr. Broderick, did you ever see Mr. Broderick be physically abusive to any of his kids?
Never.
Did any of his children ever appear to be afraid of Mr. Broderick from what you observed?
No, not at all.
For any lack of food, was that part of your responsibility?
Yes, it was.
Did you ever see Mr. Broderick discipline any of the kids if they got into trouble?
Yes.
And what was his method of discipline?
Verbal. He'd take whoever was in trouble into his office. They generally have a long talk. Sometimes he would take privileges away, like television or videos or going to the arcade after school, something like that.
Did you see Mr. Broderick spending time with the kids or the boys? When he came home, would he spend time with them?
Yeah, yes, he would. He'd ask them how school was, what they were up to. They had things they wanted to show him or talk to him about. Yeah.
In any of your conversations with Elisabeth Broderick, you indicated that her conversations were aggressive. That was your word, is that correct?
Yes.
What do you mean by aggressive?
She was very hostile. She was very angry. She wasn't afraid or desperate. You know, she was very forthright in her exclamations of her emotions and feelings.
Did she ever express any physical fear of Dan or Linda Broderick?
Never to me, no.
Okay. Did it ever appear to be afraid of them, physically afraid of them?
No.
Did she ever appear to be intimidated by people?
Not that I ever saw.
Okay. Do you recall that there was ever any change in tenor of the conversations, or was it consistent for the entire time that you knew her?
It was consistent for the entire time that I knew her.
Did you indicated that you didn't know her? You didn't feel you knew her as a friend, for example. Were you on a first name basis? Did you call her Betty, for example, or did you call her Mrs. Broderick?
I called her Betty.
Okay.
Herself.
The last time you babysitted, you indicated it was sometime in October when right before the boys went to the Notre Dame game. Is that
Right.
okay? Do you recall having a conversation with Elisabeth Broderick during that time?
Yes.
Okay. And what do you recall about that conversation? What was she talking about?
She said, we talked about some light chit-chat things. Then she said that she was going back to court to try to retain custody of Rhett and Danny, or to court again. to try and retain custody of Brett and Danny.
And did you say anything to her about your understanding?
I told her I thought that all the court stuff had been settled. I mean, I had just...
With respect to custody, had you talked to Dan or Linda about whether he was giving custody to her?
Not at that time.
Okay. Did she say anything about Dan and Linda or what she wanted to do as far as Dan and Linda were concerned in that conversation?
Well, when I said I thought that the court situation was all settled and behind them, she said that she was sure that Dan and Linda would like her to just go away and leave them alone and let them live in peace. But that wasn't going to happen. And she said that she was going to continue to make Dan miserable and make his life a living hell or kill him.
Okay.
That was the last time I spoke to her.
Now, when she said that, when she said she was going to make his life a living hell or kill him, was that said lightly, seriously? What was your impression of how she said it?
Very seriously.
Okay. Did you do anything about that when she said it? Did you talk to anybody about it?
I talked to my mother about it.
Okay. Did you have some concerns about the manner in which she said that?
Yes, I did.
I have no further questions.
Cross-examine?
Stupid court TV website.
Dan and,
What do you mean it can't be played in my browser? I was just playing it in my browser. Stupid thing. The next of the past I can find. What in the heck? What? Why did it take me to Court TV on YouTube? I didn't tell you to go to Court TV on YouTube. Good gravy, Marie. I didn't tell you to do that. And do what I tell you to do. Stupid thing. Now my whole computer hates me. Next time we're doing a trial that's on YouTube. We're not doing another one off this website anytime soon. We're just not. Okay, now I gotta figure out where we were. I don't think we were that far. It's in the 60s here, or it was when I got up. And I am.
Yeah, they want the majority by any
My
means.
allergies.
This is the woman that you still found that you liked and felt close to somehow.
Yeah, I wouldn't say I felt close to her, sir.
You liked her.
Yes.
Yeah, weather changes do me bad.
Been betraying her for 2 years.
I don't know where we were.
Or they're split up.
In that conversation.
You were just
That
so good.
she was sure that Dan and Linda would like her to just go away and leave them alone and let them live in peace. But that wasn't going to happen. And she said that she was going to continue to make Dan miserable and make his life a living hell or kill him.
Okay.
That was the last time I spoke to her.
Now, when she said,
The way Elisabeth Broderick appeared to feel towards Mr. Broderick, that it was money only.
objection, Your Honor, she testified as to what the defendant said.
Feeling of having some difficulty accepting love with somebody because of things that had happened to him in the past, did you?
That's a long question, Mr. Early.
Well, have you ever had a friend before who while they were in love with somebody?
I'm going to object to a question like that.
Well, you gave some answers about the way Elisabeth Broderick appeared to feel towards Mr. Broderick, that it was money only.
Objection, Your Honor, she testified as to what the defendant said.
Sustained.
Did the defendant tell you that Mr. Broderick had been betraying her for 2 years?
Objection, Your Honor, since facts not in evidence.
Before we're open next, did she ever tell you anything like that?
Did she ever tell me that, please say again?
Did Mrs. Broderick, when she had these conversations with you, tell you that Mr. Broderick had cheated on her and had an affair with Linda Broderick for a number of years?
She never told me that.
And now she would tell you, you would talk to her on a weekly basis?
Pretty regular,
Almost every day?
almost every day.
And it was almost every day that she would express anger, is that correct?
Yes, that's true.
In almost every conversation.
Yes.
And it didn't take women to...
Come on, StreamYard.
Sometimes it didn't happen right away.
Yeah, but most of the time it did. Okay, and even when it didn't, it was... When it didn't happen immediately, it wasn't very long, was it, before it turned to using bad language and talking about Dan and Linda in terms of how much she disliked them?
Yes.
Okay. And do you remember, was there ever a conversation where that didn't come up? Or was it pretty much almost every single conversation?
No, there were conversations when it didn't come up.
Few of them.
They weren't the majority by any means.
But this was a woman that you still found that you liked and felt close to somehow.
Yeah, I wouldn't say I felt close to her, sir.
But you liked her.
Yes?
You and her had arguments, didn't you?
No.
She never told you that she didn't like someone of your age watching her children, telling her what she could do and not do?
Say again? Someone of my age doing what?
Telling her what she could do with her children and what she couldn't do?
I never told Mrs. Broderick what she could or couldn't do.
Well,
And
did you?
we never did have an argument of that nature. No.
Did she ever make fun of the way you looked?
Not to my face or to my knowledge.
You were wearing a ring in your nose at the time you worked there, weren't you?
Okay, I didn't work for Dan at the time, and it was a diamond stud, and I wasn't caring for children when I did that.
There was never any argument about, did you ever do that in front of, did you ever wear that in front of Elisabeth Broderick?
I believe she saw it, yes.
Okay. And was that away from the home?
No, it was in the home.
Okay. And the children were, the reason you were in the home was to care for the children, wasn't it?
On a substitute basis.
Okay. And was there any arguments where she would be upset about either your condition or what she felt was going on in the house?
You need to explain what you mean by my condition.
Did she feel that was there any arguments where she felt you were being inappropriate in the way that you dressed or looked around the children?
Mr. Early, every conversation I had with Mrs. Broderick, if we weren't talking about Dan and Linda, was friendly, polite, and respectful. She never demeaned or degraded or humiliated me to my face about anything, and I never did to her.
Did you remember testifying at the last trial that there was a time that you accused her of trying to get you fired?
Objection, that misstates the evidence.
Sustained.
Was there any time that you got angry at Elisabeth Broderick and accused her of trying to get you fired?
That's a two-part question. Can I answer two-part?
Well, okay. Was there any time you got angry at... Was there any time that you got angry at Elisabeth Broderick in regards to trying to get you fired?
I can't answer it that way. Can I answer it in two parts?
Was there any time where she tried to get you fired?
No.
Did you ever accuse her of trying to get you fired?
May I elaborate?
Did you, yes or no? Did you ever accuse her of trying to get you fired?
No.
I'll refer to the Plymouth deal where it's maybe on page 446, line 28 through 2 of the next page, 447.
Shelter let it rid herself.
Where do you want me to start?
Right here. I'll read the question on the next page and the answer.
You're not going to object to any attempted impeachment. This was the same compound question that was asked previously by the witness and the lawyer.
If she had trouble with it, the district attorney can go over that. I asked the question, she answered.
Okay, you're way down here.
Over.
Animosity and Donald.
Did you read that question?
Yeah, but I don't think it's the one you're referring to.
You read the question, start line 28, read that question, your answer on line 2.
That wasn't the question you just showed me.
Do you have an opportunity to read that?
Yes, I did.
When you were asked do you remember being asked the question, was there any time you got angry at Elisabeth Broderick accused her of trying to get you fired? You answered yes.
Yes, according to that, I did.
Okay, and what is your, and did that ever happen?
I got angry at Elisabeth Broderick. I did not accuse her of trying to get me fired. I don't believe that's what she was trying to do.
And did you get angry at Elisabeth Broderick for anything she did to you?
Can you be specific?
Was there anything that she did to you that made you angry? At all?
Ever, anytime? Or in regard to this specific event?
In regards to when you were working there, is there anything that she did to you specifically?
No, never.
Now, you started there in 1987?
Yes.
And do you remember when you started?
Summertime of 1987. No, sir, I don't.
Do you remember the boys being out of town?
Yes, they were in Colorado.
Have a moment here.
Certainly.
So you started working for Colorado?
When I started, they were there this time.
They got back home? And remember that you worked there for about how long?
I know it wasn't a year. It was till the holiday season, right before the holiday season of that same year.
Well, do you remember testifying that it was for about a year?
I said it was approximately a year, and at the time, that's what I thought. I'm mistaken. It wasn't a year.
Yeah. So your testimony now is that it was about 6 months.
6 to 8.
You had an interview with the district attorney's office, is that correct?
Before this case?
Yes.
Reread my testimony.
Well, did you have an opportunity to reread your interview?
Oh, my, like deposition. Yes.
And when you first talked to the district attorney, you didn't bring up the incident in October where she said she'll see him dead first, did you?
That she was gonna make him miserable or kill him? That? I don't recall.
Okay. Do you remember a supplemental interview with the district attorney?
I know we talked more than once.
Okay. Did you look at the interview? Your first interview was December 12th. Is that correct?
I don't know.
It was shortly after the killings. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. And I may be missing it. If you could just show me here. If you could review that and see if it was in that interview.
I thought she testified she didn't see it.
I wasn't sure if she said she didn't say it or didn't know. I'll ask her again. Do you know whether it was in
I
there?
really don't remember. It doesn't appear in here.
you remember reading a subsequent interview where that was mentioned? Sometime in June.
Sometime in June.
You could. It's nothing. I just you could review this report.
Okay. Yes.
Was that the interview where that was mentioned?
Yes.
Does that refresh your memory?
Yes, it does.
Is there a date on our story?
Yes, June 5th, Your Honor,
90?
of 1990, yes.
Thank you.
Now, your hours were in the summer, 10 to 6?
Yes.
It was pretty much a household up when you, by the time you got there?
Everybody up and moving around? Yes.
Okay, so you don't know what went on before then, do you?
No.
Okay. And you would leave in the summertime at 6, and in the wintertime you worked, or school years, you worked 12 to 8, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. So you would not know of your own knowledge what would happen before 12 and what would happen after 8?
That's correct.
Okay. And unless for some reason you were asked to come in special because Mr. Broderick would be away for the weekends, you weren't there on the weekends, were you?
Right, no, I wasn't.
You indicated there was a time when, when you worked, was there a time where any of the boys got in an automobile accident?
When Rhett got hit by the car?
Yes.
Is that what you're talking about?
Yes.
Okay, but what's the question?
Okay, did you work there when Red got hit by a car?
I was filling in at that time.
And was there any, do you know whether Mrs. Broderick was contacted that day?
When Rhett got hit by the car, he was taken directly to the hospital, and police came to the house to pick me up and take me there, and they informed me that Rhett was fine and that he was calling his mother from the hospital.
Were you, was there any other car accidents when you were there during a period of time?
No, that was the only one I'm aware of.
You indicated there was a time that Elisabeth Broderick backed out of a visit. Do you remember that? Well, was there a time when there was a visit where she just didn't come pick the boys up?
Yes. I believe she had spoken to them about the fact that she wasn't coming.
And was there a and you also indicated there was you remember a trip to Hawaii where your mother wouldn't take the boys?
Say that again, please.
Was there a trip to Hawaii that your mother had planned where she refused to take the boys?
That my mother had planned?
Their mother, I'm sorry.
Okay. I was told by Rhett and Danny that they were going to Hawaii with their mother.
And Was your understanding that your mother backed out, their mother backed out of that trip?
Yes.
Okay. I have no further questions.
Broderick?
David, when you were originally interviewed by an investigator, you told the investigator that Elisabeth Broderick had said on several occasions that she wanted to murder Dan, right?
Yes.
That was, you made the general statement that she had said that on more than one occasion.
More than one occasion.
And then in a follow-up interview, you were asked if you remembered any specifics of anything that she had said regarding wanting to murder Dan. Is that correct?
Yes.
And in that follow-up interview, you indicated that there was one particular conversation that really stood out in your mind,
Your
right?
Honor, objection, please. Sustained.
Was there one particular conversation in which she had talked about murdering Dan that really stood out in your mind?
The one I indicated.
And that was the one a couple of weeks before he was in fact killed, right?
Yes.
And you indicated that Elisabeth Broderick, when she did have conversations with you, she could talk rationally about things. Is that correct?
Absolutely.
It wasn't as though she was crazy, wild, out of control, didn't know. She, when talked about Linda, she was simply angry, is that right? But there wasn't anything about those conversations that didn't make any sense to you, was there?
No.
Objection, please. No, overruled. Master stands.
Counsel asked you about something to do with whether or not you ever accused Elisabeth Broderick of trying to get you fired. Why don't you just explain to us what happened?
When I realized that Betty had opened that envelope and gone into those personal things, there was a restraining order that prevented Betty from coming on the property. Many times she would come in to pick up or drop the boys off, and it was perfectly peaceful. But when Dan found out about it, he would get really upset, and he would get really upset with me. So when I called to talk to her and I was angry, it was to explain to her that she was jeopardizing my position, not to accuse her of intentionally trying to get me fired.
You felt jeopardizing your position by violating the restraining order when you were there.
Yes.
And you're referring to the time when she came in and ripped open the envelope that was on top of Linda's
Same dress.
You indicated that you never felt that you were personally upset about her treatment of you, correct?
Correct.
Were you upset about her treatment of the children?
Sometimes, yes.
And did you ever express those concerns to her?
Yes.
There was a time apparently that you had a diamond stud in your nose?
Much to my regret. Yes, I had a diamond stud in my nose.
Was that something that she ever complained to you about?
I don't remember her being the least bit upset about it at all. In fact, she kind of made a joke about it when she saw it, but I wasn't aware that it upset her or made her feel like I was no longer capable of looking after her children.
Was it anything that concerned Dan Broderick?
No, Dan said it was a great place to keep diamonds if you didn't want to get them stolen.
And the incident when Rhett was hit by a car, that was an accident, right?
Yes, it was. I mean, I know exactly what happened.
What happened?
And well, he was riding his bike.
She says she knows exactly what happened.
I was told by the police and by Rhett.
Go ahead.
Still, that's objection there.
When Rhett was riding his bike, is that
Yes.
correct? And you were there at the house?
Yes, I was.
And Rhett was taken to the hospital. He was and his mother was notified that very day while he was there at the hospital.
I believe that she wasn't home and her machine was on, and I do understand that Rhett left a message for her that was more dramatic and more upsetting than it needed to be. And she was upset when she called the house, but he was fine and she was contacted.
I have no further questions.
For the cross.
You remember that the that there were some, that when you
If I was a judge, I would get in so much trouble because I would overrule things that needed to be sustained because I would just want to know. I would be like, no, that's overruled. Let her answer the question because I want to know.
tried to, that when their mother tried to call the house,
Yes.
the answering machine was on. There was some problems her getting through
That specific
at
time?
that specific time.
I believe the answering machine was on because nobody was home.
Okay. And the answering machine, he wasn't at the hospital very long, was he?
He was at the hospital an hour, start to finish.
Okay. And what time of the day did this happen?
It was in the evening, before dinner time, but in the evening, early evening.
Okay. And there was a problem. Did Elisabeth Broderick ever get through that evening?
Oh, yes,
To a
she's with me.
Okay. And what time did she speak to you?
We came home, took right up to his room. I think we were home about 15 or 20 minutes. The phone rang. The answering machine picked up because I forgot, but I grabbed it and turned it off. And I spoke to Mrs. Broderick right then.
And you knew there was a restraining order in 1987, is that correct?
Yes,
And Mrs. Broderick was not supposed to come into Dan's house?
yes,
Was she doing that in 1987?
yes,
Was she jeopardizing your job in 1987?
yes.
Did you talk to her about it in 1987?
She was... No.
Any further, Ms. Wells?
No, Your Honor.
Witness be excused.
No objection.
All right, thank you very much, ma'am. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll take our afternoon recess at this time. Please remember the admonition not to discuss the case among yourselves nor allow anyone else to...
Job at risk. If you know she's not allowed in the house and it's going to put your job at risk, you don't let her in the house. You say, no, Betty, you're not allowed in the house. It's my job to keep you out of the house. You can't come in. That's what you do. And then if she still insists on coming in, you call the police. There's a restraining order, and this woman insists on coming in the house. I'm the housekeeper, and I can't keep her out. There's a restraining order. That's what you do to keep your job. You don't talk to her. You can't talk to this woman. She's not rational.
Discuss it with you, nor form any opinions until it's finally submitted to you. Thank you very much. Have a nice evening.
And could you please state your full name for the record and spell your last name?
Charlene Ellen Igo, I-G-O.
Ms. Officer with the Sandy Smith.
Yes, ma'am.
How long have you been a police officer?
I'm assigned to property crimes, burglary investigation of the Western Division.
Are you a detective?
I am now, yes.
Directing your attention to November of 1986, what were you doing at that time?
I was assigned to uniform patrol in the North Park area of San Diego.
And when you say uniform patrol, that means driving around in an actual police car?
Yes, a marked patrol unit in uniform.
And were you working by yourself or with a partner at the time?
I was working with a partner.
On November the 1st, 1986, do you recall responding to the home of Mr. Daniel Broderick at 1041 Cypress?
Yes, I do.
What was the nature of the call, or why did you go there?
It was a disturbance call.
So the information that you had at that point was simply that there was a disturbance and you responded there?
Correct.
When you arrived at Mr. Broderick's house, did you determine what the nature of the disturbance was?
Yes, it was a violation of a restraining order.
And at the time, did you verify that there was, in fact, a restraining order?
Yes.
Did Mr. Broderick show you the restraining order?
Yes, and a copy of the proof of service that it had been served.
And, excuse me, was the restraining order one that restrained the defendant, Elisabeth Broderick, from being on the property?
From being within 100 yards of the property, yes.
Was Elizabeth Broderick there
Yes,
when you arrived?
yes.
And do you see Elizabeth Broderick in the courtroom today?
Yes, she's seated at the defendant's table in a beige suit, looks like.
May I have the record? When did you have contact with Mrs. Broderick that day?
Yes, she contacted me first.
And did you ask her whether or not she was aware of the restraining order?
Yes, I did.
What did she say?
She said she was aware of it and she had been served with the paper.
She was aware of being on the property was a violation of the restraining order?
Yes, and I explained that to her again.
And what happened then? What did you do?
At that point, she has the option of citation, or if I don't believe she's going to leave, I can take her to jail for a violation of the restraining order.
Did you ask her to leave the property given that there was a restraining order?
Yes.
And what was her response?
She said she would not leave. She said I'd have to take her to jail if I wanted her to go.
Did you explain to her that there was an option there of just giving her a citation and allowing her to leave?
Yes, several times.
And each time that you explained to her that option, what was her response?
She refused to leave.
Okay. And she told you that you would have to take her to jail?
Correct.
Did you ultimately arrest her and take her to jail?
I did.
Was that something that you particularly wanted to do?
No, it takes probably an extra hour and a half to take somebody to Las Colinas than it does to write a citation and let them go. So it took me out of service for quite a while.
And the only reason you did it was you basically had no other option?
That's correct.
I have no further questions.
Cross-examine.
Yes, ma'am. The conversation with Elizabeth Broderick, there she told you that Ms. Broderick would talk to him,
That she wanted to talk to him, that's correct.
and he wouldn't talk to her.
Right.
He told you that that he was not, there was problems with money, and he had, and she wanted some explanation.
I don't recall anything about money.
Yeah. But there was a discussion that she was there because she wanted some answers from Mr. Broderick that she thought only he could give. Is that correct?
I understood that she wanted to talk to him, but I don't know the nature of what she wanted to talk to him about.
Now, after you told Mrs. Broderick you were going to arrest her, did she in fact say, okay, I don't want to go to jail?
That was after about the third or fourth time I asked her to leave on a citation, and then I told her I would have to take her into custody. And when we had the handcuffs on her, she said, okay, I'll leave, which the option time was over.
Okay. So at that point in time, when she realized that there was not going to be that she wasn't going to be able to remain there and talk to Mr. Broderick, she asked you to custody, and you told her, forget it. I have no further questions.
Redirect.
Did you know that she was represented by an attorney at that time?
No,
So you didn't talk about whether she had other options as far as talking to Mr. Broderick at the time?
no.
I have no further questions.
Recross.
No, no.
Witness please. Excuse.
No objection.
No, no.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Free to go.
People call you up for words.
You do sound like the testimony about to give. And I am appealing for this court shall be the truth, and nothing but the truth, so help me. And ma'am, could you please state your full name for the record and spell your last name?
Huck Forbes, Forbes.
Thank you, ma'am.
Good morning, Ms. Forbes.
Good morning.
Can you tell us, do you know the defendant in this action, Elisabeth Broderick?
Yes, I do.
How is it that you know her?
I met Betty in October of See, I was pregnant with my first child, 73. Is that right? 73.
Are you married to Brian Forbes, who has already testified in this action?
Yes, I am.
And ultimately, at some point, were you essentially neighbors of Elisabeth Broderick, where she lived down the street from you?
Yes, we lived on Calle Corta when they rented the house on Avenida de las Ondas. And we lived on Calle del Oro, which is a corner house, when Betty lived on Calle del Cielo, which was at the end of the cul-de-sac of the corner.
And that's in the La Jolla Shores area of La Jolla?
Both of the houses are, yes.
Directing your attention to February 1st of 1986, the night of the Blackstone Ball. Do you remember that night?
Did you say February or November?
I'm sorry, November.
November 1st of 1986 is Blackstone Ball.
Yes.
Yes, I do remember.
Can you just describe briefly for us what the Blackstone Ball is?
The Blackstone Ball at that time was a social event given by the San Diego Bar Auxiliary, the women's organization. And it was given largely for the purposes of entertaining lawyers and their spouses.
It's a social event.
It was, it no longer is. It's now a fundraiser.
And is it a formal event? People
Yes,
get
it's
dressed
black
up?
tie.
And was that something that you knew that Elisabeth Broderick was aware of, the Blackstone Ball?
Yes, we worked on it one year as committee members together.
Do you recall any time that afternoon or evening receiving a phone call from Elisabeth Broderick from jail?
I assume she was in jail. I don't know what the booking procedures are, but the phone call I got was that she had been arrested and that she was at jail and that she was calling me that.
Okay. Did you actually talk to her?
Yes.
And did she tell you that she was in jail?
She asked if I would call the newspapers and tell them that she was in jail while her husband was being celebrated at the Blackstone Ball.
Who did she want you to call? Anybody in particular?
She mentioned Burl Stiff, society columnist for the San Diego Union.
And that's who she wanted you to call to tell this?
Yes.
And how did she sound when she was telling you about this?
She was very excited. She was exultant. She was, this was going to work for her, even though she was in jail.
Did you ever have another conversation with Elisabeth driving Dan Broderick off the road?
Yes, I did.
Can you tell us what she said about that incident?
Betty described to me an incident where she was in a rental car that would not have been recognizable by Dan or by his family members, her children, for instance. And I don't know where they were going or why, but Dan was in one car with the two boys, and Betty was in the rental car. And they ended up, Betty ended up chasing Dan, and I believe driving close to him or in some way trying to almost run him off the road in a way. That's the way it sounded to me, the way it was described.
And this was being described to you by Elisabeth Broderick?
Betty was telling me. Mm-hmm.
And how was she talking about it? And how was she describing it? Was she proud of what she'd done, ashamed of what she'd done?
When Betty talked to me about it, she said she was glad she had frightened him. She was gloating about it almost.
Gloating about frightening Dan?
Yes.
Did she say anything about whether or not any of the children were in the car?
My understanding was that both Danny and Rhett were in the car and that they were crying. They were very frightened about what had happened.
Did Elisabeth Broderick ever talk to you about her abilities as a marksman, shooting?
Yes, she did.
What did she say about that?
She told me that in college she had been a sharpshooter and she'd earned medals.
Did she earn medals for sharpshooting?
That's correct.
Did she ever tell you about practicing shooting?
The gallery, yeah.
Describe how often she liked her.
She described how often she told me that she had been practicing target practice.
Did you ever have a specific conversation with Elisabeth Broderick where you were encouraging her to get custody of her children?
Yes, I did.
What was it that you said to her and how did she respond?
I suggested to her that if she wanted to be with her children, that she hire an attorney specifically for the purposes of regaining custody for her children.
And what did she respond?
And she said, "No, I won't do that until I get my money."
Were you aware of when Dan and Linda Broderick were married in April of 1989?
I attended their wedding.
And sometime after the wedding, did Elisabeth Broderick say anything to you about their photographer or seeing the photographs of the wedding?
She had indicated, I think even before the wedding, that she was going to take a job as a photographer's assistant. And that seemed like a good thing for Betty to do because she has photography skills, I think. And then after the wedding, I learned that she was going to be employed by Mr. Campbell, who was the photographer at the Broderick's wedding.
When you say you learned that, who did you learn that from?
From Betty.
And what, did she say anything to you about the proofs from the wedding?
That she had seen the proofs before they did.
Did she tell you where she had seen the proofs?
I believe in the photographer's studio. I'm not sure. I don't recall her specifically saying where she'd seen them.
And how was she describing that? I mean, what was her attitude and demeanor?
She had an intense curiosity about it. I suppose seeing the photographs satisfied a lot of that curiosity. And
do you know for sure? You're just indicating to us what she told you that she had done. Is that correct? I mean, you don't have an independent knowledge of whether she actually saw the photographs.
No, I don't.
This is just she described for you that she had seen them before they even got to see them.
That's correct.
Let's stop there while they're paused. 1, 12, 13. We're on part 11 now, I think. Are we on part 11? No, we're still on part 10, right? I don't know. I don't know nothing. I'm just winging it and y'all are following me like lemmings off the cliff. You know what they're called? Yeah, we're still on part 10. Okay. Oh, hang on. Nope. False alarm. Thought I had to burp. Oh wait, now I feel a sneeze. No. Wait. Dang it. I hate it when that happens. Okay, I think I'm good. All right. Don't you hate it when you feel a sneeze coming on and it doesn't happen? I hate that. Stupid allergies. Okay. Now we're going to go from California to Florida to the closing arguments of the matriarch mastermind murder trial. And they have probably already started, so we're going to zoom over there and see what's happening. And hopefully we get a conviction today, because nothing the defense said moved the needle at all. So I'll see you guys over there in a few minutes. And oh, I forgot to make a portal. So you guys will have to find me on your own. You think you can do that? Think you can find me? Please try to find me. See you guys in a few minutes. Bye.